Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Manciot. I am called to return today to discuss a few ideas. I'm going to start with speaking a bit about astrology. For in essence, there is a great, very, very important axis between the South Node in Capricorn and the North Node in Cancer. The North Node is where we're going, where we want to go, where the South Node is what is done, what is integrated. And on this South Node, there is Pluto, the Lord of transformation, of the underworld, and Saturn, the Lord of karma, the time that separated heaven from earth, that are conjuncting each other and creating this destruction of all what is antiquated within society. So it's going to be continue to go on. There's going to be a progressive dissolution of all this three-dimensional matrix, the old way of living. And so we do not want to focus too much attention on the decay and what is going out. What we want to do is to focus on the North Node and to focus on the Cancer, on the inner world, on the inner child, on the well-being, on the environment, our own environment, our immediate environment. And so it is important to focus on that and to allow our inner self to be the prime focal of attention, rather than all the materialistic societal aspects that are they may still they're holding interest, but then they do not determine our inner sense of well-being. And then there is two squares that we're going to need to deal with. The first square is the Sun and the Moon. The Sun and the Moon in Aquarius, with Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is the awakener, so it's going to shake up all that. It's going to awaken. It's also, because it's in Aquarius, it's about we're going to be able to reflect upon the fact what our life is bringing into the collective. What is the mark that we're leaving on the earth? And so all those questions may come back into the mind. And the other square is Mars in Sagittarius, that is going to square Neptune and Venus in Pisces. Neptune and then Venus, something like that. So it's like there is this Mars is the willpower of the fire, and Neptune is the wholeness of the water. So it's about this confrontation of hardcore will and reality, confronted with all the dream world and the desires through Venus. And Jupiter and Capricorn, we want plan and practicality for Jupiter. But plan and practicality for Jupiter is the Lord of miracle. It means that you have to, by developing more trust, more potential become possible. And it's great meaning right now in allowing yourself to face the fears and the doubts within, and to become so that they can be transmuted. I'm going to pull a few cards and speak about about transforming the past, how to change the past, something that we've always wanted to do somehow. So the highest wisdom is like nothing is better than your home. So it's about finding finding an environment that is comfortable, that is secure, that is where we can be creative, and so it is very much about returning to ourselves. What we need to understand is the time of the nap. It's about resting and temporary inaction. It's about allowing our dreams to form and to crystallize. What we need to do is the happy chance, happy circumstances, so it's about trusting that there is sometimes there is luck that can come into the process, and to be lucky, to know you are lucky, and the outcome is the symphony, the uncompleted symphony. It's like something will need to be done in order to end the cycle. For now, just be open to the joy, but know that there's still some work to do, and that has to do with the divine law. It's about following the law and order of the universe in order to be fully aligned with the law of one, to the law of truth, the law of it is all about law here. And so I want to speak about changing the past. It's an idea. We cannot change the sequential events that happen within our life or anybody else's life. Those are rather fixed in the sense, and they already, all those things exist in memory, but also in holographic form and can be reserved into our, for that's what we call the Akash, is all the memories. So if you can believe that all those memories exist, and even when we get a memory, we remember the past, let's take a traumatic event, something that really we didn't like, that was very, very painful. And so when we remember that, we feel the pain that was associated with the memory. But the way to change the past is to find resolution and healing. So when we call on that memory, it is no longer about the pain, but it is about the lesson we learned through the experience, at which point our perception have changed of that situation and the past has been changed. So that is an essential way, because we're gonna have to go back into our past to integrate all of our memories if we want to find this, because the memories will come back to be integrated until they're all aligned. For first, we have to, when we have a dream, a vision, we need to allow to be able to perceive it in our mind. Everything comes from mind. For the mind is the universe is mental. It is a thought. It is an idea, and there is. We'll have probably to return to the eight principles of Hermetism. The first principle is that everything comes from mind, everything is mental, spiritual, and those principles. It was really when Isaac Newton he translated it from Latin into English, and that's what gave him all the clues about all this scientific series, the Corpus Hermeticum, known as the Kybalion. I think we'll have to return to those principles in order to evolve science. The world of science still have much to learn about the Hermetic principle. But then Newton has made some great, wonderful discoveries. But then Einstein came and proved that Newton wasn't completely right. And soon we're gonna come up to realization and experience and proof that Einstein wasn't completely right either. But we are, science is on something that continues to expand. With, in essence, what is science is knowing the truth within yourself, how things work within the truth, within the natural life. To understand the forces at work, all those things. But it's quite rich, and so. I also wanted to speak about God is self-distributive. There is only one God, but on Paradise, but then in the universe, God has created beings equal to Himself in order to rule over various cosmic. So there is a lot of settled understanding in the relationship. Every religion has their own God with different names, different personalities, different ideas, but yet there is only one God. Those are just different persona of the same God. And there is I wanted to speak about the Divine Mother that's been very much left out of all religious concept. God the Father has always been, or the One has always come forward, but the Mother has been, when the Mother is the prime creator of our local universe, for before the universe, the cosmos was created on Paradise, one day the Father and the Son created a Creator Son, the perfect identity of infinity that was come to become the first Father God of the first universe. And then in the infinite spirit, at which point there was a complement of reciprocity, of complementarity, and the first Mother God was created. It was the first time feminine aspect were ever revealed on Paradise, and for eons of time, those beings and many others that followed the same model, those creator beings, practiced on the central universe, and then eventually the other universes, the cosmic universes, became settled enough. They were invested a part of space, and so the first that was sent was the Great Mother Spirit. She will probably never return to Paradise because her presence at the center of our local universe is essential for the whole universe to function, and she can never depart this central dwelling of hers. We will eventually come to meet her, but she can send aspects and forms of herself for working with the goddess. This goddess is known as Nebadonia or Sophia. The Mother and the Father God. The Mother created all by herself all the angelic legions and the archangels. When with the Father they came together, they created the Melchizedek, the Lanonandek, the Varonandek, all the celestial hosts that populate our local universe. and so, but they are very different ministry that is quite complementary. And then there is the one that is all, that is source, and so it's about understanding the various relationship, but to work through the feminine, the goddess, is very important even for men. For I'm working with many goddesses that come to me. Lately, I've been working with Athena, the goddess Athena, and we was saying something that was funny that came to my mind. And should I share? Is to say that we have something in common with Athena. We love Pallas. I really love Pallas. This goddess Pallas, which is the energy is channeled through Pallas Athena, then the asteroid. And so I just thought I'd come and say hello, wish you a good day, discuss those ideas. I hope you can they'll be useful to you. The paintings behind me, because hearing something is good, and understanding it is another thing. Integrating it is yet another thing, and then applying it is yet another thing. It's all the things we work on. We got to be easy on ourselves, take it one step at a time, and breathe through the process. Enjoy. The more we can enjoy our life, the greater the memory we'll bring back with us. We enrich it. Although the negative energies is also enriching our Akash in serving a purpose. So do not judge yourself if you're not always on the open up. This painting is called It's Paradise. It's just a symbolic painting to remind us of what is essential. And this is a painting about the 7 families of spirit beings from 2002. It's very colorful. It's got this very warm energy. So I sing a quick, short song. I sing one in French, in the French video. This one is in English. It's called Dust in the Wind. I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes, a curiosity, dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind. Same old song, just a drop of water in an endless sea. All we do crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Now don't hang on. Nothing lasts forever but the earth and sky. It slips away, and all your money won't another minute by. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Dust in the wind. Everything is dust in the wind. What a wonderful realization. We are stardust, and from this stardust anything can be created. For this stardust created the earth, created you, and we can use this stardust. We will come to realize those very sacred particles of adamantine particles that we have within ourselves that can really be applied in utilization for the highest good of all. Well, thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day. I'm going to pull one more card. Sorry, I'm going to miss that. But it's the 4 of Gabriel, wonderful card of completion. After the effort, the recomfort. You are harvesting the fruits of your labor. Get rid of all situations that are oppressing you. What a romantic card, huh? How beautiful. Well, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.